Welcome back. Changing nature of political campaigns. Alright, so we have seen an increase in the usage of political consultants in recent years. Political consultants are professionals hired by a campaign to develop media strategy. Others are hired to fundraise or to research, like opposition research, or to conduct polling. So they've gotten more expensive because you have to hire all these different people to the staff, professionals, to help you win your election. Along with that, so just kind of repeating that same fact, is that campaigns have gotten very expensive, more and more expensive every year, and you can see that on this chart here, how the cost of them has exploded over the last 16 years or so. Since about 2000, 2002, we see a pretty steep increase in the cost of elections. And again, the reasons for that, you have those staff salaries, but you also have TV ads, social media ads, sending direct mail to voters, setting up campaign offices, traveling. All these things are expensive. So as a result, campaigns are very, very expensive. Since they're expensive, that means you need a lot of money. So there are intensive fundraising efforts. So candidates raise money from individuals, from PACs, and from super PACs. Parties also give money as well. So you can see here, this is 2012, and the money that, as of October 17th, that Obama and Romney had raised. Obama had raised $934 million. He actually did go over the $1 billion mark before the election. Mitt Romney was a little bit behind, but still $881 million. He ended up over $900 million in that particular election cycle. So we're talking about an ungodly amount of money being spent and raised, again, from individuals, PACs, and super PACs. And the one that might be the most frustrating of all is that these election cycles have gotten longer and longer and longer. It's basically a 2-year cycle at this point. So this is being recorded and uploaded in November of 2018. So we just passed the midterm elections, and we are right now already entering into the invisible primary. So we are 2 years away from the actual presidential election, and yet we are here beginning the process. So the invisible primary refers to the time when potential candidates begin making speeches, they begin fundraising, they begin hiring a staff, they start conducting benchmark polls to figure out whether or not they have a chance. Should they run? Will they be successful? What strategy should they have? But this is when that begins. So they start trying to look more presidential. They start showing off for the media so that they can get some attention and get their name out there. Candidates start announcing that they are in fact running for president about 6 months to a year ahead of the first primary. So the primaries begin in January of the odd-numbered year. So in this case, it'll be in January of 2019. We'll start having our primaries, but we can expect candidates to start announcing that they are running for president within the next few months. Somewhere between January to March or April, we should see a barrage of candidates start announcing their intention to run for president. Primaries go from about January to June of election year, so now we'd be moved into 2020 at this point. And for about 6 months, they go through the different states, going through the primary process. Then in the month of August, and sometimes it could be late July or early September, but about the month of August, each party holds its national convention in which they formally nominate their candidate for president and also adopt their party platform. And then we finally are to the general election season, so from August to November. And then the Tuesday after the first Monday in November is when we actually hold the general election for the presidency. So that means that we have 2 years of this. So again, this shows why it's so expensive. You have to hire all these people, make all these ads, and it's for a long, long period of time. And there has been increased reliance on social media for campaign communication and fundraising. So Bernie Sanders is probably an example of somebody whose campaign was really, really strong at this, at using social media, having their message essentially be distributed by supporters at no cost. So lots and lots of memes and things like that with the Bernie Sanders campaign, things that went viral. And this is a good idea because it saves a lot of money and it helps reach a lot of voters. So this is something that is being increasingly done in campaigns. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. This has been a La Money production.